Good evening. Welcome to the Mancunian Way. My name is Martin. I am your host. And welcome to Everton 1, City 3. On an evening when I don't even know where to even begin. Yeah, good evening. Good evening, Ozzy. Good evening, Rich.
Good evening.
I am leaving certain things at the minute because I don't even know where to even go with halftime because that was hilarious. Chroma Base, huge win, and we're only going to get better with KDB, Haaland, and Doku returning. Hopefully, Stones' injury isn't too bad. It doesn't look good. He's left in a protective boot, and Pepper said it doesn't look good. In the group I'm in, someone said it's time to sell him. But yeah, I don't know where the fan base is anymore. Merry Christmas to Jack Lee. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas and you have enjoyed yourself. And you've had, I hope Santa Claus brought you everything that you needed to want in your sack or in your whatever you want to call it. Mingy Wong says, hi guys, nice Christmas. Super City's a lying sod, never in doubt, very confident. You lying little sod. Top of the league, strangely 1-0, did not feel as bad as some games. I'm going to get into that. Because I thought we were about 5-0 down at half-time, the way some of the fans reacted to that first half. And maybe I missed some. I think I watched a different game to everybody else, considering. But we'll get into it. Getting Blues, evening, Blue Goat. Anthony, good evening. John Rowland, good evening. Don't you just love the World Champs badge? Don't know, because again, fans forgotten that we won that at half-time. Even better than the final performance, true grit and class. Good evening, Blue Heart. How are you? Happy with the 3 points tonight? The ability to come from behind to win is how you win trophies. Spot on. Thought Everton were a tough nut, but so are we. Exactly. By the way, Everton have won 4 in a row and should have won at Tottenham as well. Before Tottenham, they won 4 in a row and they should have beaten Tottenham, really. They battered them at White Hart Lane. Fantastic second half performance. Foden outstanding. Kovacic was excellent when he came on. The Blue Shark is rising to the surface, chomp, chomp. A vital win, well-deserved. What a goal by Bernardo, by the way. Bernardo's goal was amazing. Me and Alan are going to get into the Bernardo debate because Alan said he was world-class tonight. We're going to have a debate on that one. Goal, sorry. Sorely when the third went in. Well, to be fair, it should have been 4 or 5 by the end. Game-changing results. Doesn't look good for John Stones. It doesn't. Evening, Peter. Evening, Blues. How are you, mate? Hope you are well. Philip Walter Foden. I dare anyone to tell me he's not a centre mid. I'm daring anyone to tell me he's not a centre mid anymore because I'm not having it. I'm not having it anymore because you're just waffling. Real good second half. Given the, if I ever see him on the wing again, I'm going down to Pep. I'm going down to City and slapping Pep down the head. I'm slapping him around the head very hard.
You'll be dropping De Bruyne then.
I don't care. I'm slapping him very hard, Rich. The guy is an absolute master in that 10 role. I'm sorry. He just is. It was an actual fact display of champions. It was. And I will. Pep, fight me on it. I will fight you with Foden in that middle. I'll fight you for him. Sorry, mate. Ceasing changing. I will. I'll fight him. Don't care. I'll fight him everywhere. I'm having my boy in the middle. There will be plenty more twists and turns, but I back our team. Hey, thank you. Good evening, Blues. Cracking second half. I'm going to tell you why I don't think the first half was as bad as something. I think people looked at the first half score than they did performance. City 3, anti-football 1. Evening, Blues. Never, ever play Foden on the wing again. He's a midfielder. See, Daniel's just singing the same hymn sheet I am. And me and Daniel are going fighting Pep now. Manchester City, greatest English team football ever. Again, you wouldn't have thought so at halftime. A quote I heard at halftime was, "This is the end for this team."
In the bin.
Evening, Alan.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, Martin?
After
we're
reading
not
your
gonna-
messages for the last 2 hours, not very good, actually, mate.
Well, we shouldn't be so bleeding soft in the first half. Christ Almighty! I didn't know it was a fairy team playing football in the first half. We didn't like to be bullied. We didn't like to tackle. I just seen what we're doing. First half, we were absolutely soft as hell. And don't get me started on Nunes. Oh my God! Please, he's too soft. I'm sorry, he's too soft. Second half, we grew up, became men, and got stuck in, and we played well second half. Foden was absolutely brilliant second half, unbelievable. But first half, we couldn't pass the ball out from the back. Every time we did, we lost it. They were bullying us in the first half. We were just soft.
Alan, I think you're confusing the first half with the last 15 minutes of the first half.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We played really well until
Scotty Mull agrees with Alan, but I don't know what Scotty Mull and Alan have watched different games.
Three really bad individual errors in the goal. And after the goal, we lost our heads. For the rest of that half, we lost our heads.
Mate,
we
couldn't
played like
pass the ball.
1990 City.
Richard,
But we were
Richard,
good. We were good before the goal.
Richard, we lost.
We
kept losing. Listen, we kept losing the ball when we were playing out from the back. I'm just thinking, what are they doing?
Alan,
What
question.
game were you watching, Alan?
Alan, for
Seriously?
the first 30 minutes, can you tell us when we saw Edison?
They didn't touch the ball.
I mean, can you tell us when we saw it in Everton?
We were like 80% possession. What you said, Alan's right, of 15 minutes after the goal.
Yeah.
But it's not true before the goal.
Alan,
Before the goal, we were in control like we were against Palace. Total
I'll
control.
tell you the Everton player who had the most touches in the first 30 minutes was actually Jordan Pickford. Why? Because all he did was keep them in the game.
I just thought we were soft in the first half. We had a soft
He's
underbelly.
not having it, is that? He's not having
No,
it.
I just thought we were.
I want to know what's wrong.
I thought they got stuck into us, and we didn't like it. And I just thought second half we were so much better. It was ridiculous. We suddenly grew up. I thought we better get stuck in here, and that's exactly what we did. And I thought we were a lot better in the second half. We were fantastic. Nunes is too lightweight for me. Foden is class. And I thought second half, I think we all played well second half.
You also told me Bernardo was world class first half. Again, you were watching a rerun.
Bernardo was one of our better players, mate. I don't care what you say.
I don't think you're giving Everton enough credit, Alan. Everton came with the game plan.
Don't get me wrong, Everton, right, have their limitations. But that's to get stuck in and get physical, and that's exactly what they did first half. And they pressed us, and they didn't let us pass out from the back. They didn't. And we were soft, and I just thought we were soft as hell for the second half. We feel like we better be men here instead of little children.
Alan, right? Can I just say one thing, Alan? Do you know what you're doing? You're doing what 90% of fans do.
I'm only expressing my.
Alan,
I'm expressing my.
Right, you're expressing your opinion. Now let me give you fact.
Right, go on.
Go back and watch that first half.
It was
what
terrible.
You are saying is spot on for the 15 minutes after the goal. For the 30 minutes beforehand, it was City versus Pickford. Right or wrong?
I just think we were soft first half. Terribly soft.
Rich, Ozzy, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but
I think Alan's letting the emotion of 15 minutes of the game represent the whole game. And I think it's a bit like the Palace game. A lot of people at the end of the Palace game saying we were absolutely terrible. Palace, we were back to our best for 75 minutes. We just absolutely lost our heads for 15 minutes at the end. And that's what happened today a bit. We lost our heads for 15 minutes at the end of the first half. Having controlled the game, we didn't lose the ball for 30 minutes. We kept possession really well. We created chances. We perhaps should have scored a couple. We didn't, and we're playing well. We then made 3 individual errors in the goal. Bernardo made an error, Rodri made an error, and I think there was one other just before Bernardo. Kanji. 3 sloppy individual errors, and after that, we lost our heads for the rest. It's a good thing it wasn't in the 10th minute or in the second half, because Pep needed half time to get the team back together, because we looked absolutely poor for that 15 minutes. When we got in at half time, Pep got into the players, tweaked things a little bit, and we came out and we were the same, a slightly grittier version of the first half hour. So I think it was a bit like Palace in that we dominated for 75 minutes and we had 15 terrible minutes. Fortunately for us, it was at the end of the first half, not at the end of the second half, because if that goal had gone in the second half, then our heads did look gone. And I texted you saying I thought we just lack a bit of leadership on the pitch at the moment. With a goal like that last season, Gundogan calmed things down, and then De Bruyne fired things up. And at the moment, I'm not seeing who's firing us or who's calming us down. We've got leaders of sorts like Rodri and Kyle and stuff, but they're not really galvanising the team. And so I think we like that a bit. Obviously, Pep gave that leadership at half time because we came out a totally different team second half and, dominated. And it should have been 4 or 5 in the end. I mean,
I thought Kovacic made a difference when he came on.
Yeah, and I think the other person I want to call out is Ederson, because Ederson made one absolutely stunning save with his left hand, which was the harder one to do it with when we were 1-0 down, and that could have been real trouble.
I think the point that Alan makes about Núñez is that I think he's right in some respects. Núñez wasn't in the game. We were having our own chat on WhatsApp during the game, and I said, I think he's just not in it. And I do think, Kovacic needs to come on and kind of shore up that midfield a bit, because he just couldn't find his, some of his passing was good, but it just didn't get a grip of the game for me. And again, he hasn't had the minutes in this team. He hasn't had the full chances. And he's, as we say, some players need a full season to get the grips of Pep ball, and I think next season we'll see more of him.
Can I just make, before we bring Pat in, I just need to make this. So I agree with Alan, we were passing for passing's sake. This is what's getting me really annoyed. Not annoyed, but a bit, I don't know where to go with it. 3 weeks ago, we weren't doing this passing for passing's sake. What we were doing was trying to get the ball up to the front as quickly as possible with the least amount of passes. And we lost the ball and conceded 3 and 4 goals playing that little game called basketball, ladies and gentlemen. So Pep give you a glimpse of what boring passing football is all about. So we go and play basketball against Chelsea, against Liverpool, against Tottenham. There was another one. Played it in 4 or 5 games. There was another one. Can't remember. Can't remember who it was. And then we conceded 3, 4 goals, 2 goals, blah, blah, blah. And everyone was going mad. Don't want to do this. What's all this about? Don't want to play this football. It's too vertical. I'd love a 5-yard backwards pass by now. Do you remember we're 3-2 up against Tottenham? 9 times out of 10, City go to the corner and waste time. They don't try and then score the 4th goal in the 93rd minute. And now we've gone back to the passing football and we're winning games again. It's boring. This is why I said weeks ago, Pep's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't now. He can't win, the poor fella. I do feel for him sometimes, and I shouldn't do, because the guy's on mega money, so I really shouldn't feel sorry for him at all. But I'm like, the guy can't win. The guy just cannot win. We play boring football and win. It's boring. We play basketball football and we can't defend doing it because we don't have the players to play that game. So what do we do? I don't know what we do. It's a bit baffling. And listen, I don't think the first half was passing for passing's sake, because I can name 3 or 4 passes that split the Everton defence wide open. Grealish put one through for onto Alvarez, then onto Núñez, which Núñez should have finished. And then Alvarez had a decent save on the rebound. There was other shots that Pickford had to save off as well. So I'm with Rich for 30 minutes. Thought there was one team in it. And then the goal came, and that's when we collapsed.
I think the tempo could have been better, and we saw that in the second half. That's where, they've gone through the gears a bit more. Sorry, Pat.
You won't get 3 to 4, Adam.
No, you're right, guys. I think you've pretty much hit the nail on the head in terms of how we were playing at different stages in the match. But yeah, when we got to about the 20-minute period, I was expecting an increase in tempo, which we are known to do in the first half of most matches. And then I think the proof was there by how we conceded that goal, because it was just on the half-hour mark, basically. So usually by that time we've already picked up the tempo, the passes a little bit quicker, and the responsiveness of everybody was a bit there. And the fact that we didn't do it and then conceded, I think, as you said, it did rattle us up until the end of the first half. But fair play to the lads, because the way they rebounded in the second half was a polar opposite of what they did in the first half. So for me, it was almost like I was anticipating. The way we started was okay, but I was expecting a bit more come, 20 minutes in, and it didn't come. And then I think it was sort of, we kind of not necessarily shot ourselves in the foot, but just made it more difficult for us than what we should have. And, it was a Rodri mistake that caused the goal. So, had I think we'd been a bit more, a bit more on the front foot, we may not have conceded. And I think this game would have probably panned out the way we would have expected it to. I give a bit of credit to Dyche, because I think I've never seen a Dyche team press as well as they did. I thought they were good in parts, definitely with their midfield as well too. It just seemed like Rodri and Nunez and that too. A lot of the time when they got the ball, they always had 2 or 3 players on them. So the game plan was pretty good, but I think I felt it's at first half. It was like as long as we picked up the tempo, I think we'd make it very, very difficult for them, and we did prove that.
I think the game plan was perfect, but they just needed Chris Wood at the top of the Christmas tree.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
If Wood had been there, he'd have probably bagged a hat trick, and it would have been.
Yeah. Sorry, by the way, I will breaking news. I have an agenda against Kiwis now, just to let you know. I had these 2 idiots.
You've got a whole agenda against the whole bloody Commonwealth.
No. 4 in the morning, these 2 prats were messaging me, trying to play the wind up. You don't try and wind somebody up at 4 in the morning. You don't play that game. You know what I mean?
You're an exception to the rule, mate. Because you're in your best form when you're nocturnal.
You didn't get a bite at 4 a.m. in the morning.
I just mentioned an elite striker's performance at, St James's.
Did you see the odds on that? I think he was like 500 to 1 or something to score an hat-trick. Yeah. Somebody made about 10 grand on it.
Well,
first time in 2.5 years or something.
Why do you think I've got a new car?
First time in his whole career, I think.
Yeah.
Alan Wake playing in low. Do you know what? I agree with Blue Art. I do think, Ozzy, I want to come to you on this, so I'll bring Alan in. I agree with this. I don't think we were fully at it in the first half, and I think we were playing within ourselves, because people forget 4 days ago we were in Saudi Arabia. People forgetting all this. I think there was a stat during the game that I watched. I think we played like 10 more games in Everton this season already.
6.
It's like, that's mad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, what was the time difference? 3 hours? I mean, it's not going to do a massive amount, but still, amount of travelling, it'll have an effect.
I know they only had 1 training day. They had 1.5 training days since they've come back.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think one of the players we haven't actually mentioned, I thought had a standout game, was Ake. Again, probably the best defender of the night for me. Some of his clearances were just brilliant. Akanji didn't have his best night.
No.
Stones, before his injury, I thought was playing well.
I've got the most evilest laugh. I remember it. I don't know if that's evil or really creepy. I don't know which one that was. For anyone who's listening to this on a podcast or listening to it in your car and you're not watching us, I apologise for that really creepy laugh.
Sounds so wrong, Alan.
It's like watching Penelope pit stop or something like
gonna concede goals. We need to come out of this thing and we're not going to concede goals. This is what I've always meant by it's not computer games. You're going to concede. We're going to concede goals.
Stop being so bleeding soft.
It was sloppy. It was our own fault.
No, it was. I'm not saying it wasn't, but I'm saying this thing that we will never concede goals is a myth.
Yeah, but we've been sloppy and soft at the back for a while now. You know, all right, there was mistakes in their goal, but Kanji was bullied by their centre forward, big time. Got to defend.
But it wasn't bullying; it was our mistake. It was a Kanji smacking the ball at 300 miles an hour to Bernardo. Bernardo giving the ball away, and Rodri passing it straight to that fellow.
Yeah, Rodri gave it away flat-footed as well too. So he was
no softness in it.
Yeah, but we kept giving the ball away all the time from passing out from the back, non-stop. I'm thinking, what are they doing?
I need to rewatch this game.
You do. I'm thinking, what are they doing?
Alan, you're the only one who's the odd one out here.
Well, I'm just saying what I thought I saw, right? And first second half, we solved that problem.
No,
we grew up and started being men.
But what we're saying is, what you're doing is you're looking at that 15-minute spell, and in your head, it's become the whole first half now.
Well, it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
That's what fans do. They take the 15-minute disaster class, and do you remember the Crystal Palace game? It happened at Palace. Yeah. Instead of us going, we were fantastic for 77 minutes, it became we were shit for the whole game.
And well, I didn't say that. I said the case against Palace that they did play well.
We should have scored. We should have scored more against Palace.
We should have been 2-up tonight before Everton even got near us, Alan.
Same with Spurs.
Well, Nunes should have scored, shouldn't he?
Spurs game was the same. We were 6 goals better than the Spurs first half. We should have been out of sight. That should have been. We should have been going for a Huddersfield, 1989 or whatever. No, a bit later than that, but we should have been going for that earlier than that. We should have been going for that type of score against Spurs, but we didn't. Yeah. We let them score.
Do you know what's really frustrating is when Stones got injured, it was offside. He didn't stick the flag up till after the whole sequence of events. That could have been avoided.
It's hard not to, though.
I was a little bit ironic.
I know. It's frustrating.
How Jack Grealish got booked the first time he fouled someone when he'd been fouled about 100 times beforehand, and that happened.
I know.
And then that referee. Pretty sure he got the ball first. I'm pretty sure he got the ball first off Jack McNeil. Yeah.
I thought Tarkowski was trying to take half of Jack Grealish home tonight. The way he kept going through. I've got to say, I thought Jack was amazing tonight. Foden was amazing.
He was. He's very, very good. The second half we were so much better. We moved the ball quicker, and we looking.
Yeah. We're quicker from the get-go.
That's like Jack's 13th win in 15 starts this season in all comps. Jack is certainly not the problem. He is. Whether he's back to his best yet, he's certainly getting close, and he's certainly not a problem in the games we've lost. He's not been playing.
He was tracking back brilliantly, especially in the second half.
Yeah.
He's Alan just the in and out man tonight. So you'll have to excuse me. I've got a chest infection. I'm just recovering. Passing around at the back and making mistakes. Do you see their goal? Yeah, but that's what my point is, Superset. What fans have done, and I saw it all at half time, they took that 15 minutes from the goal and it's become the whole 45 of the first half. And if you take that 30 minutes beforehand and watch it again, it was all us. It was us against Pickford. And then it just suddenly, their goal happened, which was our fault, and we collapsed a little bit. You are quite right, but it wasn't the 45 collapse as everyone is saying it is. Pickford was making saves galore in that first half. Because even said
the game, didn't we?
Even Shearer, by the way, Shearer's a boring bleeding commentator. I'm sorry, what the hell? I'd rather have Jamie Carragher and Alan Shearer on commentary ever again. But even Shearer was at it. This is men versus boys at the minute. Even he was like, what is the Everton have got to get in this game? Because they even talked about how City are quieting the crowd down.
Yeah.
It was all City. And then the goal came, and that's when it changed. Honestly, I think people have just seen that last 15. It's become the first half, like the Crystal Palace game. that last 15 became the way we played the whole game instead of the last 15 minutes. It's a weird one. I think I don't know why fans do it. It's because some guy told me at our time, like I said, it's the end for this team. They've come to the end of the cycle.
Is that we went on to win the game. Do you know what I mean? Is that the thing
Did
that's missing? Apparently so. Because I mean, the amount of negativity there is around that last 15 minutes, the first half is crazy.
We're not 5-0 every game. I dread to come on post matches sometimes. I'm like, what is the reaction? Yeah, we went in 1-0 half down at half time. Like people said, second half, we were outstanding from the get-go. Equaliser, Foden, what a strike. Whoa. I mean, my right foot's not as good as his left foot. Jesus. Wow. Just that was some hit. I mean, people are blaming Pickford a bit. They think Pickford should have got it.
I love Martin's analogy. His right foot's not as good as Foden's left foot. I think you can give him higher praise than that, to be honest, Martin.
I was praising my own right foot there.
Yeah, I'll be praising.
You're certainly not praising your right lung right now, are you?
Yeah,
no. I've got a chest infection. That's what I'm saying. You're not praising your right lung right now, are you?
I'm not praising out. Tell me my antibiotics I've kicked yesterday. I couldn't speak.
I'll be like Walker's quicker than Alan.
I'm with you, Powderbox. What do you mean boring? People don't know what to talk about. It's about control. But nobody wants control anymore. People want to go back to basketball. And then when it finishes 4-4, we'll complain about that. So that's why I said Pep can't win. Carry on. Gary.
You're a picture of good health.
I thought the best bit of the second half was Nunes getting substituted.
Your agenda, Alan, is to see, let's be honest.
For me, it was.
I was wondering what he was doing in that car. I thought his Uber driver up and left because he was that miserable.
Oh dear me!
I'll tell you what, though, that miss that came off the bar for Foden. Oh,
yeah, the one laid on. God,
yeah.
What a take in first touch.
It did second half, Scotty Mull.
He deserved a goal for that. That was just, yeah. I mean, Foden was absolute class tonight. He was head and shoulders above everybody. And I just think he deserved that man of the match. He has really come on leaps and bounds since KDB's been out of the team.
I'll say, I wonder if Southgate has been watching him playing in midfield, and then he'll come out with a comment like he doesn't play in midfield, doesn't play there for City. Dear me, honestly.
I've got to read this out before Alan's steamed. Evening, Andy. How are you, mate? Hope you had a good Christmas. Standouts tonight with Foden Akikobo when he came on. First 15 minutes of the first half, last 15 minutes of the first half, we were poor. Oh, it's like we've just been saying. But apart from that, the boys did well. Bernardo and Akanji not good enough in the first half. So I'm just because Alan told me Bernardo was world class first half.
Bernardo is you can't have a go, Bernardo.
Why? Because he's got a song.
Because he's got a song.
At least he admits it. We had 9 shots on target. Everton had 2. That was the first half, by the way, Alan.
Yeah, they were shot. I thought they were poor first half. Second half, they were fantastic.
But we had 9 shots to 2, but we were crap. I'd take that all day long. Thanks very much.
Yeah, well, we're lucky we were at 2-0 down at half time.
By the way, Everton have won like 4 in a row.
Don't know if not beat by Spurs.
Battered Spurs though, Alan.
They should have battered them. And unlucky not to get a point.
Yeah. So with disrespect, should have been 5 in a row. They won, Alan. You were talking about how difficult this game was yesterday. Now you're telling us I was scraping by.
Well, it wasn't difficult. We have to win the battle against be physical. And first half, I didn't think we won the battle. We were soft. I thought we were soft big time.
No, my thing for the goal. I don't know about you. Did anyone think Rodri should have just rose-ended that?
Yeah,
rather than trying to be cute with it.
Yeah, but it's not his style, is it? Let's be honest. So,
see, I don't think Rodri was particularly amazing today.
I don't think he was
He looks a bit
either.
off it.
Can you tell me how bad is Stones? They're all sick now.
He's left in a boot cast. That's all we know, Alan.
Shit. He's always injured. Jesus wept.
Oh, stick him out back, old yellow.
He'll want him sold in January.
No,
Put him out. You put him out to stud.
He is frustrating when we need him.
God's sake.
Alan, I don't know where to go. Alan, United stand have an opening, mate. I don't know if you know. Put you onto that goal bridge if you want, mate.
I'd end up punching.
Thank you, Wayne. Hope you're having a lovely season, mate.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on your lot, especially with our former coach over there. Evening champ, says Lena. If you don't like Kiwis, you dislike Chris. I've never said I didn't like Kiwis. When it is with Pat, he wants me to say Chris Killen and Danny Allsop were world amazing players, and I can't do it. Sorry, I just can't.
I just don't think you're just underappreciating him.
Right, any City fan who was there, tell me Danny Allsop was world class without saying Danny Allsop. Don't give me he was world class. I agree with
I was at main road to see him come on substitute and then 15 minutes get taken off and he was not injured. Joe Roll took him off because he was that bad.
Yeah, see, Alan, now that's something to get miserable about, okay? Not about the bloody performance in the first half, okay?
Oh, mate. Danny Allsop was.
Do you know what makes me laugh? Alan was one of the fans watching City versus York and everything, so I don't know how he's even moaning now.
Yeah.
We were world champs 4 days ago, and now he's like, we're shit.
They were shit first half, especially.
Oh, for God's sake, he's not.
No. He's just never going to stop, is he? Let's be honest.
Rich, sort Alan out. What did you call him at halftime on the group chat? Mr. Alf? Yeah, I can't hear.
You're on mute.
Yeah, go on mute, mate.
And I know thing.
There used to be a show called The Fast Show, like Paul Higson and people wrote it, and there was this character called Unlucky Alf, who was like some northern terrace living bloke who everything that went wrong would go wrong, and he was so pessimistic that he almost foresaw things going wrong. And that's Alan. He is just unlucky Alf. Anyone who's seen the show, he is unlucky Alf.
Look at Andy now. Andy's twisting this left, right, and centre. Because Andy texted me ages ago. He went, I'm going to push Alan all over your channel because it's funny. And he's sat there pissing his pants right now because he knows what he's doing right now.
Unlucky Andy.
You get on here, stop telling me you're ill, and you tell me that first half was crap, Andy. Come on. You tell me that Alan's right. Martin, change the channel name to Happy Flap Fan TV.
Do you know what? I'm not in this.
Happy Flap sounds like something way different.
I'm not in this.
You tell me that isn't Alan.
But he's not a West Ham fan.
No, that's not a West Ham scarf. It's black and white.
Yeah, but he was a West Ham fan, wasn't he?
Oh, bugger.
Wasn't he a West Ham fan? Rodri's headed for the goal.
I was thinking more Alf Stewart from Home and Away, just with the northern accent.
Yeah, or Alf Garnett.
I disagree with BB because I've got to say, BB, I thought Akanji smacked the ball 300 miles an hour towards Bernardo. Bernardo
made 3 errors. Like Akanji made an error, Bernardo, and then Rodri. They all made an error.
Yeah,
but we must keep a clean sheet in the next game since United. We haven't. But no one's keeping clean sheets, Lion. That's my point I'm making. No one is. And I know that's not an excuse. I'm just saying, I think everyone's just up the game in a more attacking. I think teams have become a little bit more braver in the Premier League now. Because I don't think anyone's really keeping clean sheets at the moment.
That's true.
I'm a little concerned that Rodri's going to get burnt out the way things are going, though.
Well, we'll get on to that because I didn't get told we may not go for anyone in the end in January. Because the targets we want are not necessarily available at the prices we want. We're being quoted silly prices at the moment.
We could do with someone there because with John Stones going down.
The Stones one may change things if he's out long term. I think Marty Rich Ozzy had rewrite in the first half because we ended up winning. No. We've just said the last 15 minutes of the first half was crap.
You got to love a good wind up.
Yeah.
Also, don't underestimate. Listen, Everton that is a great win for me.
No, yeah.
Coming back
Great win.
Yeah, coming back to play Everton at home.
Yep.
We all felt that was going to be a difficult game.
I was happy with a point out of this tonight.
Same.
We needed to win that. No, we did. Thank God.
Well, you called it
to win, but I think it was I said it 2 weeks ago. I thought it was a really, really hard game to have. I thought it was one of the hardest games we could have. Away, Everton. It's not
the same Everton as it has been the last few seasons, mate, either. So, it was going to be way more of a test than previous years.
Yeah.
Sean Dice is definitely going to make a difference.
Ozzy, was it a penalty for you? Because that's been the most controversial element of the whole game tonight. Dice has said, apparently, there's former referees come out and said it was a penalty, but it's not the decision that's the problem. It's the rule that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of have to.
It's unquestionably a penalty based on the rules today.
Oh, he's here.
But I still think...
I want to know why you're not on camera.
It's near impossible. It's near impossible not to give a penalty away there.
Thanks for answering me there, Rich.
And take us off in the background.
What?
Are you here to praise Alan?
It's unlucky Andy and unlucky Alf.
I'm just you all bullying.
It's a show bringing back early 80s comedy live with Andy and Alan.
I've had to get off my deathbed to get on here to stop you lot bullying Alan.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you.
So Andy, you thought we were crap for the first 45 minutes?
No, we should have been way ahead. And then for whatever reason, what's been happening all season, we just switched off. They scored, and then we was all at sea. Second half, we just bossed it. I just thought Kovacic was. I will disagree with Alan over Nunes as well. I think Nunes' best position is going to be on the right for us, and Bernardo tucked in because we saw that just before he got substituted. However, second half we just moved up gears and we just. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin, he should have done better. But you know something, so should we. We're back on track. I couldn't give two monkeys, to be honest. We needed that. A tough place to go, Everton. It really, really is, especially, the results they've been having of late. Absolutely brilliant to get back on track, but we've got to follow it up now with no stuttering against Sheffield United.
I agree with Ozzy, by the way. Too many fans that expect 3 and 4-0 every game. I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and going back onto the penalty, I mean, I get where you're coming from, Martin, with the, I heard a few Express turn around and say, by the letter of the law, it's a penalty. Yeah, by the letter of the law, it is a penalty. I think it was harsh. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not sure really what the Everton player could have done. The ball was literally a yard away from him. He couldn't really do a lot with his arm and hands in the position he was trying to defend the goal. So I think people would say it's a soft one, the soft penalty for Everton to concede. But the letter of the law is it's a penalty.
So,
if you look at sorry, Andy, I was just going to quickly say, if you look at the positioning of the player too, he hasn't he's committed to the slide, but he hasn't actually started sliding. So I think if he was already gone to ground and started sliding, then arms are pretty much going to be more likely in an unnatural position. But he's basically coming down to commit to the slide, and the arms are all over the place. So for me, I could see why it's called a pen, but I've seen worse. I've seen worse that haven't been called. And I've seen better ones that have been called. So it's
The thing is, why we debate it? It's been like that all season. It's not as if it's just a new rule what's popped up tonight. Ask them same people like Michael Owen, Roberto Martinez, and all the others, Shearer, who all say, "Oh, it's harsh, it's harsh." Put their manager's head on, and that went for them. They'd be over the moon with it. Nobody's been discussing. Nobody's been discussing these things all season. It's not just happened tonight. So it's listen, we got it, we scored, we deserve it. Move on.
And last season as well. Remember the penalty we got against Red Bull last season, headed onto his arm from about a metre away. Truth is now, if it hits the arm, it's almost certainly going to be a penalty, because you cannot a rule which is like, was it in a natural position or was it intended? No one can answer that. There's no black and white rule. So they're making it almost black and white by just saying it's a penalty pretty much if it hits your arm, unless your arm is down by your side, behind your back or something like that, because it's the only way they can manage it. And so whilst it's harsh because it means a lot of penalties when the defender's got no chance, or like in the cup final, Jack Grealish had no chance, but they've just got to be black and white about it, and that's what they do now. That's a penalty every day.
It's a penalty or not a penalty. Handball's
so
with it.
Are we all in agreement then that if it hadn't been called a penalty, it would have gone to VAR and VAR would have called it a penalty?
Yeah.
The thing is, if the lad didn't have hands, it wouldn't have been a penalty.
Will you stop with being Amish? Not Amish, because he's got small hands. Stop it. It's not his fault, poor lad.
I know, he's harmless, really.
Stop it. Right, anyway, Alan, Scotty Mall, and other people think you're talking rubbish on Bernardo, mate. But anyway, move on.
Bernardo Silva.
He's got a song.
He's
got a song, Andy.
I'm going to love yous and leave yous now, guys. I just wanted to come on just to say all the best to you all. And all the guys in the chat, have a wonderful, wonderful new year, and stop bullying Alan.
I know you get better soon, Andy.
That's a weird New Year's resolution.
Oliver Hardy
I
needs
keep
to
that
stand loyal. I don't think it's fair to leave him.
No, speak to your Saturday, Andy.
All right, guys. Listen, if I don't speak to any of you, all the best to everybody in the chat and all you guys as well. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
93-20.
See you soon, mate.
Go and show Andy a lot of love. He's feeling under the weather. Truth is, it could have been 2-1 to us first half if it wasn't for their keeper.
Yeah, Pickford pulled out some great saves.
I've got to say, I thought Alvarez was fantastic, but Pat, did anyone shit themselves on that penalty? I don't like going down the middle on penalties. I really hate it. I hate.
Never mind the middle. I don't like penalties in general, mate.
No, I know, but I'm like,
I hate them.
Corner him.
And then we had they had the bloody Edinburgh derby on the TV behind us, Hearts and Hibs, and they both missed a penalty each in the first 15 minutes of the game. And I was like, these are the sort of things that actually become infectious in football. I was like, half the time when we take penalties, I've got my bloody back turned to the TV. I just wait for the reaction. I don't like them one bit. Never been a fan.
No, I'm trying not to be harsh here, but if he had
bloody legend,
if he had longer arms, Danny Tiato was a legend. I agree with that. If he had a longer arms, he could have actually got that. And I'm not trying to be nasty with him either. I'm really not. And
he nearly saved it with his leg. He nearly saved it with his legs. He actually tried to trap it and almost got
away. Do you remember the one he saved from Alvarez with his leg in the first half? That was a pot shot.
Yeah, the rebound off the shot.
Yeah, sorry, I'm being naughty. Get Piquet at least. Again, they want a lot of money. They want a lot of money because his release clause doesn't kick in till summertime. And then obviously we got the third goal, which wrapped it all up.
Class, Bernardo, class. Absolute class.
Well, it was kind of very much like our goal that we conceded. Class. Everton made a massive mistake, and Bernardo capitalised on it.
It was actually a nice shot, even if Pickford was closer to being on his line. It was actually a really nicely played shot. Yeah.
What I was quite impressed is that he had an Everton defender on him and trying to pull him down, and he just kept on. Just the actual strength of him to keep on that ball, to put that shot was brilliant. I mean, it wasn't just the shot; it was just him having the persistence to get that shot off.
Absolute world class.
Rich.
So I was just been reminded of, with all these comments about Alan being like unlucky Alf. He's always reminded me most of Nora Batty.
Hang on, right.
David's older sister.
Good evening, Subto. I'm just trying to get, because I'm way behind on the chat, so I'm just trying to get into it to where we're at. Yeah. No, and it could have been 4 or 5 because Alvarez's free kick tipped over. Foden smacked the post. That could have been 4-5-1 quite easily.
Yeah, we should have got 4 or 5 in the end.
And the reason I put the thumbnail as season starts here is because that chapter ended after the Super Cup, after the Club World Cup. That season ended. To Pep now, we've got into our proper season.
Yeah, agreed.
We've now got into our 23-24 season. We've qualified for the Champions League. We won the Club World Cup. And Pep said after the Club World Cup dinner, that book's written now. It's all written up. Neatly into its sleeve. It'll go out to the publishers and everything else. Now we start fresh.
And we've got in with January the way it is,
Have you seen the fixtures? I will go through them in a minute, Rich.
2 FA Cup games if we beat Huddersfield, and 2 league games. It's a really quiet January. So we got a Sheffield United game coming quickly, and then we've got January to get to rest players because I'm pretty sure against Huddersfield we'll rest Rodri and a couple of others will get a rest.
Perfect opportunity to rest Rodri, Rich. Perfect.
And then we've got 4 games, 1 hard game. St James's Park will be hard. I know Newcastle are not in form at the minute, but their fans will be right up. We're exactly the sort of game they need to turn around their season. Beating City at home would totally turn around the whole feeling in Newcastle. So that'll be a hard one. But apart from that, it's actually pretty straightforward unless we get, Arsenal or Liverpool away in FA Cup.
Richard, I personally think we need to go on a 10-game winning streak.
Quite possibly, but if we're going to do it, we've got a chance with the way things are. And what we've got to do is just ease De Bruyne back in. Hopefully, get Stones back for February. Hopefully, get Doku back in, get Haaland back match fit, so that we hit February. Hopefully only 6 points off the top or 5 points off the top with the game in hand. Hit February, and then we can really step up into the last few months of the season.
Well, how many points do we have now? What, 37?
We're almost there. We're almost safe.
Right. Are we going to get 67 points? Are we going to get 97 points this season?
No.
No one is.
So that's my point.
Yeah.
We're going to lose and draw games again this season. This is why I was going about these meltdowns. We are going to lose and draw a game again this year. Because we ain't going to get 97 points. We're just not. That ain't going to happen. So be prepared to lose a game again. Be prepared to draw a game. But if you look at our fixtures, Sheffield United next, nice fixture to have. Will be a tough game because you've obviously got the new manager bounce. Well, new stroke old manager in Chris Wilder, as Sheffield United have picked up. You've then got the Huddersfield Town game at home, which will be a nice rest for some. You've then got probably the toughest game probably coming up in the next few weeks is Newcastle away. Now, to be honest with you, we don't know. Newcastle are in a bit of a slump at the moment and seem to be all over the place. They're going through what some of their fans are now calling it.
I would have loved to have played them now. Well, they're slumping, yeah.
We've got a fair few injuries.
Yeah.
Well,
they haven't actually now, they've got quite a lot back now.
Yeah. Botman was back against Forest.
Yeah. Then we've got a 2-week break where we're going out to Abu Dhabi for a nice bit of sunshine. A little bit of a break.
Is that a break or is that the 4th round of the FA Cup?
It's a midweek.
So there is, it is the FA Cup 4th round, like the 21st.
No, I don't think it is. I think it is the actual the winter break.
Okay.
Because they're going out to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, the FA Cup 4th round is the 27th.
I'm going to have to go, guys, because I've got a shed to build and finish
All
off.
right, mate. No worries. Thanks for joining us, Alan.
See you, Alan.
Happy New Year.
You too,
Happy
mate.
New Year to you, mate. So Saturday the 13th, we've got Newcastle. Then we don't play another league game until the 31st of January. So in between that, we've got our winter break. And like you said, we've got 2 weeks. You got the 13th to the 20th, 20 to the 27th. So they're back for the 27th to do the FA Cup. But you've got that 2 weeks in between, which is your winter break, where they're off out to Abu Dhabi. You then got Burnley at home, a nice fixture. You've then got Brentford away. Brentford have been slapped tonight by Wolves quite heavily.
Mind you,
they're not the same Brentford as they were last season.
Tony will be back, won't he?
No, the point, Tony won't be at Brentford by then, mate. Tony will be gone.
Yeah, well, if he's gone, but he's back, isn't he?
Tony will be gone.
January.
Because that's the 5th of Feb. You've then got Everton at home, Copenhagen away, Chelsea at home, Bournemouth away, which will be a tough one. And then you've got United at home. And so you're really looking from now till March.
March the 9th, Anfield is when it.
No, hang on, Rich. You've got to include the derby. Don't be that one. We don't give a shit about them.
No, they're rubbish.
Derby. Derby's a derby.
They're rubbish.
The point I'm making is there isn't a club out there that's probably got a nicer set of fixtures than us. So we have got an opportunity to get on a run, is what I mean, going into March. Now, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not saying it will. You've got to respect every single team. But my point is, those are the fixtures you'd want.
One sec.
For me, anyway. You know,
yeah, they're a nice set of fixtures. Let's be honest, aren't they?
Yeah, and I know nothing's won on paper.
No, but you'd imagine with the team we'll have back, like it's been said, hopefully we'll have a fit Haaland, fit Doku, and a returning fit Kevin De Bruyne. That's a great set of players to come back and make a difference, in those kind of games to get them match fit, because like you said, on paper those are the games we should be having a bit of a bounce, having a bit of a streak, and moving into March for when we start facing the likes of United and Liverpool.
Are we definitely not signing anyone? Well, we're going. I'm not saying we won't. It's all down to pricing. We have signed that Ivetchery or whatever his bloody name is, but he's staying on loan at River Plate for 12 months. They have signed that. Is it Finlay Gorman as well?
Yeah,
but he's staying out on loan, and there's somebody else that Valerie. There's also rumours that Sergio Gomez may be out the door this January. I'm just saying I don't see City allowing Phillips and Gomez with Stones injured all out with nobody in the door.
Yeah.
I think you're really taking gambles then. But yes, Newcastle will come back in. The problem is City will not just straight loan Phillips. They want some sort of fee to be talked about moving forward. Newcastle just want to loan him at the moment. What they don't want to do is you loan him for 6 months to cover Tonali, and then he comes back to City. If you know what I mean, you're sort of stuck then, aren't you?
Yeah.
But by the way, big congratulations to Calvin Phillips and his missus and his family on the birth of his new baby, becoming a dada, as old Calvin. So big up. We do hope Calvin and Mummy is doing very, very well, and baby, and I hope everyone is healthy. So big up to Calvin on a Christmas baby.
Yeah, he needs to move for the better of his career. He can't stay at City.
KDB's back now. It's just when you bring him in, Blue Art. He's now back. It's when he comes back.
I think he did a training session, but Pep, I think, said that he was just a bit fatigued. So that's why he wasn't even on the bench.
He's probably fatigued from the bloody flights. Probably like done now for 12 months. He's just knackered getting on and off a plane. 85 points. I think it'll be low 90s or late 80s. That'll win it.
I'm going 85 to 90.
I think you also have to think about like the teams that in front of us at the moment. I don't think anyone again is. Liverpool aren't brilliant. Arsenal are not fantastic either. So personally, I just think it's all to play for. I mean, I put out a Instagram post a couple of days back saying in 2021, we were 8th at Christmas. We went on to win the league. So
did you see that thing the Premier League put out on, was it Christmas Day? They put the league up for last season, the league up for this season. We're in a better position this year than we were last year, point-wise.
Yeah.
And we went and won the treble last year. And I'll be honest with you, I remember there was a lot of people talking about, because remember LB talking about it, we could be 12 points behind everyone by the time when we come back. And we win our game in hand, we're 3 points behind.
Yeah.
Look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa have gone off a cliff. And all we did was go to Saudi Arabia. And Villa went off a cliff.
Yeah.
Liverpool and Arsenal, perfect result for us. 1 apiece. Liverpool, the thing that's scary about Liverpool is they're winning games but playing crap. That's the scary thing with Liverpool.
No, that doesn't scare me. I get more scared when people are playing really well and not getting the points, because if they're playing well, they'll come good. If you're playing crap, you'll get found out sooner or later.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Liverpool, off the rich.
Haven't they got to play Arsenal again soon? Like, is it just in the FA Cup, or is that the game I'm thinking?
Yeah, the FA Cup, that one.
Yeah. Which again, I mean, even though that's not league, that's still a game they've got to play each other, and a game they're gonna each want to win that one. So
that's
it's going to take them out.
Yeah. Salah's about to disappear soon as well for about 3 weeks.
African Cup of Nations.
Onana's about to leave United. Actually, that's a pro for them. So I wonder if that's why Nunes was playing yesterday at Burma. I wonder if they're like, yeah, screw it, I'll play him now. But like I said, and I said this, no other team's got a KDB at Haaland. I mean, I thought Alvarez that was the Alvarez. I loved Alvarez tonight. I thought it was exceptional. Yeah, his first touch, but I think you're never going to get a perfect first touch out of Alvarez. I think that's just the way he is as a footballer. You're never going to get that perfect first touch. What you'll get is that definitely finish and that never say die attitude out of him.
Yeah, he's resilient, and he certainly chases every ball.
What do you want? Anyone want to say anything about our bench tonight? Anyone want to say anything positive about our bench tonight?
I'll tell you what I thought was positive, that we had some youngsters on the bench that I wanted to see a bit more of.
Ozzy, I'd say a positive about our bench was that we had one.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
No, but what I seriously, I'd like to see some of these kids come on, in the FA Cup against Huddersfield. I think they deserve a bit more time to show their abilities. So
you just want Oscar Bob. Admit it, Ozzy. You've been wanting it for years, Oscar Bob. I think he'll start against Huddersfield.
We're not having another Lavia situation with Ozzy. Ozzy already messed up with his Romeo Lavia stuff.
No, Ozzy talked about Oscar Bob before Lavia. He's been on the Bob train for a very long time.
Well, the bench tonight was Calvin Phillips going, Kovacic, excellent when he come on, excellent. Stefan Ortega, who I did hear today, was he's likely to be gone in the summer because he's desperate for first-team football. That guy wants the first-team football. So the chances of Ortega being here next summer is probably quite remote now, sadly. Gomez, as of
Scott Carlson.
There's strong links to Burnley. Gavardio, by the way, I thought Josko Gavardio did very well tonight when he come on.
Yep. I think, I mean, obviously under unfortunate circumstances with Stone's been injured, but yeah, Gvardiol coming on, he just stabilised the left side, and then Ake, as soon as he came in, he made it. I think Ake moving across made Kanji play better, because Kanji was so much better in the second half than he was in the first. But yeah, they're just that left side just looks so solid, so consistent. Yeah, I just think when Gvardiol came in, he just sort of really limited the amount of options that Jack Harrison had in the second half compared to what he had in the first. Like, don't get me wrong, I thought Nathan Ake had a good first half, but just like Jack Harrison was making it a little bit difficult for him at times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why none of us discussing United's open top bus parade? It's all right. But he did win again. Oscar Bob was on the bench. Sissoko was on the bench. Lewis Hamilton was on the bench. I like that. Someone put that out earlier. But Lewis Hamilton's on our bench. Rico Lewis was on the bench, and Mika Hamilton was on the bench. Listen, I know you're excited about that, Ozzy, but Sissoko and Hamilton are not my answers to try and win a league, mate.
I didn't say they were, Mark.
No, I know. Nice. You're going down that false sense of security again, where you're going to get excited about these youngsters, and we'll have to do another show about EDS, and we'll all have to come back to the same conclusion: is that they're never going to get games and they're going out on loan. And it just becomes Groundhog Day again. Because honestly, go back in our playlist, how many EDS shows we've done, and we all come back to the same conclusion. I mean, there was even rumours yesterday of Mcfc possibly even going out now for good.
Yeah, he made the wrong decision for himself. So
I was talking to someone at Newcastle about this today, on the Newcastle channel, and they were all, get the youngsters in. I'm like, where you're going, your youngsters will be just cannon fodder out the door. It's your way around FFP. It's so sad, but there's a reason we can't put a lot of youngsters in, because we sold our EDS, and this was our. And it shocked me when I got reminded of this. This was our 3-time Premier League 2 winning champions team that we just dismantled and sold.
Yep. So it'll be another couple of years before they build up and start winning 3 in a row again. So
I think Ozzy, you'll know
it's a vicious
bottom of the league yet, or the second bottom, because they're virtually nearly there.
They're pretty much nearly there. Like you said, Pat, it's going to take them a while to build that team back up, but we're getting we've got some really good players coming up, and like the I can't remember his name now, but the boy from Leeds that's coming in, he's
Finley Gorman.
I've seen some of the videos on him, and he does look class. Where he goes, where his career goes with City, only time will tell. But what he's showing is that you come into our academy and you do well, you've got a football career, whether that's at City or whether that's somewhere else.
Oh, you're going to get a fantastic career. I mean, look at Douglas Luiz. For all the things we talk about Romeo Lavia, he's ended up at Chelsea. Could have gone to Liverpool, so it's not like he's having a shabby career here.
Yeah, it's mad. There's a few rumours that we put the feelers out about Luiz, and Villa want 120 million for him.
Imagine a world we could have got him back for 40 million 2 years ago.
No, imagine a world though where Douglas Luiz is worth 120 million, even if he has done far better than any of us thought. It is just nuts.
Our season started at the beginning. You can't start now as you've been with 40 points on. What I mean is, Colonel, we're doing what we always do, mate. January, our season begins, mate. You know this, Colonel Ward. You know what we do. We let you lot go out in front for a little bit. We play tease and then we go, nah, screw it. Let's go. I think we'll get minimal if even let him out in a free, Steve, if I'm honest. But something told me was put out earlier. It looks like Ortega wants first team football. Excuse me. By the way, I do want to big up the away fans tonight. They were amazing.
Yeah, they were.
And not
really
just
good.
because they were singing, we know what we are, champions of the world, we know what we are. Or best in the world, or whatever they were singing. That was just, brought a tear when I heard that. Who are we looking at? We're not. It's more of a list. We've got one of them, Claudio Everetti, or whatever he called. He's going back out to River Plate for 6 to 12 months. Finley Gorman was one. We're in the process. We've got to build up the EDS back up as well. We're loading other players up for the future. The problem is some of the players we want, we've looked at, we've been asked massive fees.
That's the problem in January.
And it's whether they'll touch them.
Yep.
That's the problem when clubs know that City are looking at shopping. They are going to stick an extra, whatever mil on it. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, for Paqueta, they're going to want 100 mil. For Kimmich, it's probably another 20, 30 mil on top of what City are looking to pay for him. So I think that is why it's really rare we ever sign anybody in January, because City just go, we're not going to pay it. We're not going to pay it. So, and players just don't want to sell. Teams don't want to sell their best players. Midway through the season, especially when that player is keeping you up, or is your best player,
or in a title push.
Yeah.
Tell you what, the new 78 looks special. It's about Claudio. And I go on, Pat. What's his surname? I can't pronounce his surname.
Or Echeverri.
There you go. I'm in trouble. Card 2 copy. Is there any part of being on a live chat on here?
Yes.
We always show.
Obviously, K-pop wasn't watching the way the live chat was interacting with Alan earlier in the show.
Yeah, you come at the wrong time, mate. Sorry.
In the chat, please advise K-pop. And I do appreciate it. You might be your first time here. We're one of the very few channels that actually read nearly every single. We don't read it; we show it. Every single comment on here. We put every single comment on screen. Unless you're interacting with each other in the chat, then we're not going to do, because there's no point in putting up. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Steve. And Steve's, up in the comments. There's no point in that. By the way, Rich, just throw it. Barco looks like, if he does come in, doesn't look like he may be in at the minute. But Barco will be going out on loan if he does come in, Rich.
He looks a class player.
It looks like that may not be on anymore. City playing airplane mode till February. I've got a message from you telling me we're a load of shit and you think we're crap. Does the signing of Echeverri mean one of our strikers is going? No.
He's
what we're doing is building for the
future. He's an attacking midfielder. Isn't he?
Anyway,
attacking midfielder, yeah. So.
Yeah. He's a number 8-10 sort of. I mean, ask me if he'll be here in 10 years' time. I don't know.
He's signing a 6-year deal, isn't he?
Yeah, but Peroni signed a 5-year deal. Ended up at Las Palmas. See what I mean? So I don't know whether he's going to be an Alvarez or a Peroni. I don't know which one.
Don't say that too loud of Ethans in the chat. You'll get upset.
City blocked from signing De Luis due to visa. He was allowed to sign. Yeah, but we had a buyback on him, Lazili, for 40 million quid back from Villa, but we never took it up. We did have a buyback. Any news on John Stones? It is an ankle foot injury and he's in a protective cast at the moment, Michael Judge. By the way, I'm sure we're reading chats, aren't we? Yeah. Sorry, I'm just double checking.
Yeah.
But yeah. So quite good. Now, who was your man of the match, Ozza? I mean, do we even need to ask?
Yeah, it was Foden. I mean,
any advance on Foden? Before we even get any advance on
I will say, I thought Grealish was excellent tonight. It was between him and Foden. I think Foden got it because of the goal and what led up to after that. But both were brilliant tonight.
I thought it was second half. I thought it was Rodri who got the team going again. I thought he started really pinging the ball really well, and that's what got the team playing again. In second half, first half, he was like the rest of the team, poor for 20 minutes. I didn't think Foden was great first half, to be honest. I thought
Super City agreed with you.
I thought he was magnificent second half, but I don't know. Hard to have a man of the match because I thought there were a lot of players who had a great 75 minutes and there was no one who had a great 90 minutes.
Pat?
Oh, sorry, guys. Yep.
She'll keep. Put her in the oven. She'll keep. Relax.
What are you on about?
We comment in the comments the other day when I made that comment about him being, anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
Don't what you on about.
Yeah.
Sorry, what
was
your question again, mate?
Any advance on Foden?
No. Honourable mention to Jack Grealish. I thought he had a great game too, but it was Phil's game. The only thing that wasn't the cherry on the cake was that fourth goal or nearly fourth goal that didn't go in, because that was an absolute rocket. Yeah.
Let us know who you thought was man of the match in the comments. First half, we were get off with this. First half, we were not shit. What are you watching? I think this is Alan's dummy account.
Rich, you're on mute.
I'd have a burner account, but you wouldn't want Alan.
Burner Alf.
You wouldn't want Alan as president. At least 95% of the world population would be shot within the first, day or two. Probably more like 99. And
you'll be in jail just for thought crimes.
Yeah. Oh, you've been
result merchants, paper papering over the crap.
He'd probably eliminate the female sex and then suddenly realise the implications just after he'd done it. Anyone under about 50, I
hope you have a lovely Christmas.
It'd be a bit frightening. There'd be just a load of old people from like Bury. Would be about the only people left in the world.
Yeah, we'll say that. There has been a lot of hype surrounding Echeverria.
Yeah.
A lot of hype. Like say, he has been dubbed the brand new Messi. Always scares me that when I hear that new Messi tag. Like, just let them be themselves.
I read a piece.
To me, it goes all the way back to what was the American guy they said was an ex-Pele, that Freddie Adu or something like that. Remember him? Everybody was saying he's an ex-Pele or something like that. Like,
I read a really good analysis on Everton, and they said they really reckon he's the new Matias Ruoso. So I think he's.
Oh, we're never going to see him. We're never going to see him, Rich.
We'll loan him off, or maybe. And Barco's the new Neri Castillo.
So what you're saying is, if he's Matias Ruoso, he's going to come on in a game, play 4 minutes, and then we'll never see him ever again.
And we'll loan him to Mexico.
And then that's it.
We'll make a career in the Mexican League.
Adrian Robertson, thank you. And I did get your email. Thank you so much. I did reply back. Just seen the news early morning in Vietnam. 3-1 is great. Stones injured at season juggling injuries. It just maybe, mate. And I think, I just think the injuries are, I think it comes down to the amount of games we played in the last 12 months. I think it's like, I think Shearer put it perfectly. You don't win the 5 trophies in 12 months without playing the most games at the most intense level.
There's an interesting
point
whether you like that or not. Man of the match. Did you think that Ake being at centre-back also made a big difference? Do you think Ake's...
Akanji improved. Akanji improved when he had Ake next to him.
He's our form defender this year, I would say, Ake.
He's been a form defender for the last 2.5 years, I think, Rich.
Mate, Ake makes me feel like a comfort blanket makes people feel.
Yeah. I think he's every other centre-back's favourite centre-back partner.
He's like that. He's that bit of comfort. He's that guy that I know I can just rely on.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I'd ever say that about Nathan Ake when we bought him from Bournemouth.
I just love how much. I was about to say that, Martin, about his Bournemouth days. It was just like when you looked at him at Bournemouth, it was always like this solid defender who was good enough to keep him up every single year. And then obviously COVID affected Bournemouth as much as any other club because they didn't have money, resources, they went down. So obviously a player of Ake's quality is good enough to move on to a better Premier League team, with all due respect to Bournemouth. But for him to elevate his game from being a good enough defender to keep a club up to being a good enough defender to win league titles, I think that just shows how much his game is elevated. Maybe not, it may be himself, it may be under Pep, who knows. But as we know, a lot of centre backs, they usually just hit the ground running. They don't need that first season to bed in like attackers or midfielders. So for me, it's just hit the way he's elevated his game from just being keeping a defender good enough to keep his team out of the bottom three to being a multiple league winning defender. I think you just got to give applause to Nathan Ake because he's really, really excelled.
But it was him. It was him who had to change from being a fullback to being a centre back and shore up the team and actually take the responsibility as the senior defender. So I think, it's an interesting call, him for man of the match, and maybe that's a good call because, ultimately it was our solidifying up at the back that made the difference, and he had to change positions, take on that responsibility as the senior defender, and Walker aside, I guess, but certainly at centre back, and he did do well.
Again, it kind of reminds me of the John Stones. When we bought John Stones from Everton, kind of similar really, because John Stones wasn't considered. He was considered. He could be world class, but he never really, showed it at Everton. We bought him. There was a lot of doubt. I mean, he was nearly out the door a few times. And I think Ake has done the same thing, really. I think Ake he's taking his chances. And, like you said, Rich, he's been our best defender for the last 2.5 seasons. He's been absolutely fantastic. And, I think Chelsea are probably kicking themselves because that's another one of their players that's come out of their academy that they've lost out on.
We might do a show on this. I'm leaving this for now because I'm going to do a show on it at some point. I don't know when. I'm leaving this here for now. Is it time to replace Stones? I'm leaving that there. I'm saying 100% no, but that is getting louder and louder now. Not because they don't think he's world class, but at the moment he's made out of biscuits and he's falling apart every other game. And so I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah,
I have to say, in some ways, I would rather we go and sign, a fullback, and that frees Guardiola to start to because I'm sure we signed Guardiola as the heir to John Stones, not as the heir to Cancelo or the heir to Gael Clichy. He was signed as the heir to John Stones, so he should start being given a chance to do and learn the Stones role, but I think we then add a fullback so that we've got, that extra body in defence we need to cover for John Stones being injured. But I don't think we sign a John Stones replacement. We go and sign a left back and possibly a right back too. I'd like to go for Frimpong.
Put it this way: they do the scan tomorrow, and he's out. His ankle ligament. He's out for 4 months. Do you go in the market
for a defender? Yeah.
I don't need to.
For a defender, 100%.
Could you lose a Stones, a Phillips, and a Gomez in one window and not replace anyone?
No.
I think City could.
I'll be honest with you, I think the biggest gross negligence coming out of the football club.
It would be like when
we've said it before, though, Martin.
Yeah, and we lost.
Then I would give up on every
Liverpool team win the league. We let an inferior Liverpool team win the league by having to play Fernandinho at centre back half a season, and we can't let that happen again. Mm-hmm. So, whilst I wouldn't try and replace Stones, I would say, Guardiola, you're firmly a centre back now, and go and sign a left back.
That's a good idea as well, aren't they? Maybe we need someone in appreciation. Right?
You've still got Ake, you've still got Akanji, and you've still got Diaz.
Yeah, but it's who you invert.
And you've got Lewis.
It's the only invertedness, isn't it?
Yeah, Lewis can cover for Walker. That's 4 centre backs, which we need, and then we need a left back.
But we've got.
Let's be honest. Some of Calvin Phillips' best performances have been at centre back. So don't let him go yet.
Calvin ain't going to be here in about 3 weeks, and you know that.
Yeah,
that's my point. Calvin will be gone.
Yeah,
and you can't do that to the lad. You can't get an injury and then turn to him at the last minute and go, "Please stay now. We'll play you." When you chat all over him for 18 months, you can't play that game.
personally, what worries me more is not the centre-back situation if we lose Stones for however many months. It's more Rodri. If we lose Rodri and Phillips goes out the door, we haven't got anyone to really cover him.
If Stones is out for months, Rodri's going to get injured because Stones is the only person he trusts.
Yep.
Guardiola.
I think it's gross negligence if they let Phillips go and don't bring anyone in, but that's me.
Yeah. I think depending on stat, but I think even if Stones gets told he's back in 3 weeks, how can we trust that he is back in 3 weeks? Because it's his third or fourth comeback this season, and he needs a proper rest. So we have to have someone in who can, Pep's going to have to make his mind up, who is going to come and give Rodri a rest. I mean, he'll have to go and pay Barcelona 15 million for Gundogan and get Gundogan back if he doesn't trust anyone else to play there and he can't sign anyone, then he's going to have to go back in time and sign someone he does trust, because Gundogan's the only player I've seen him trust apart from Stones in the last 3 or 4 years in that position.
I just need to get this in. Howie asked, thank you for becoming a member for 1 month, for renewing your membership for 1 month. That is amazing. You are now entered into the prize draw for December, which will be done Saturday evening after Sheffield United. San Miguel from Girona. Girona ain't going to let anybody go in January. There's no way City wouldn't even do that. I think that'd be awful for City to do that. To go and pick apart that Girona team in January when they're going for the title.
Yeah.
I think that'd be... you kind of... Perone, he's on loan. Savinho, again just get someone for the summer. Miguel, again, someone for the summer. You're not going to get anyone. I would say it depends who goes out the door. Brentford game possibly is now talking about 16th for the 17th. If they're doing that, that's our winter break gone out the window.
But we might be better getting it done in January than having.
You better tell Pep, because they've already made arrangements.
If they have to play the game, then they have to play the game. Then I mean, trouble is if we don't play it, then we might have 3 games in a week with the Champions League semi and trying to fit in a game, later in the season. So, in some ways, I don't want us getting behind on the fixtures too much.
Yeah, that's my worry. Kanji can't do the Stones role as well. That's my worry on it. And I don't think Gabardio's ready.
But maybe he has to step up.
It's a bloody gamble to step up.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to sometimes throw these players into the fire, don't you, to see if they can, deal with the pressure.
No, listen, I'm not saying Stones should be sold. I'm saying I love Stones. I think he's the best ball-playing centre-back in world football. I'm just getting concerned by the amount of injuries. That's my concern with him. Yes, Gundo. Do you think we'll ever not talk about Gundogan? Savinho won't be till summer. No. I mean, Rich all talked about half-time was bloody Gundogan. Thoughts on performance today, lads? I was really happy with it, apart from 15 minutes in the first half. But others will tell you the first half, whole of the first half was a pile of crap. Paqueta, huge amount of money. West Ham will not sell him. Plus, he's still got his FA investigation going on. Verts, maybe, but again, there is talk of him maybe staying another year in Germany.
He won't go anywhere until after the Euro.
The thing is, if you want to buy in January, the only place you're going to get a sensible deal is if you've got a club who need financial fair play clearance for this season. So someone like Chelsea or even Newcastle might need to sell someone to raise funds to get their books in order. Or if you've got a club like Barcelona who need to sell just to keep themselves pretty much in existence, then those are the types of deals you could do. Or if you've got a player who's out of contract in 6 months and you can go to a club if Cruz hasn't re-signed a new deal and you go to Real Madrid, they know they're getting nothing for him, and you offer him 25, 30, and they think, well, that's 30 million for a 6-month loan. That's a good deal. That's the only way we're going to get. We don't want to overpay, and the only way we're not going to overpay is in those circumstances. So there's no point going to a West Ham and thinking they're going to want less than 120 million for Paquetá at the minute, because there's no change. But Chelsea, I reckon Chelsea have got to raise 100 million this January window.
Well, there you go then, Rich. We can get Lavia back.
Yeah, but it's got to be a homegrown player or a player who's been there a few years, because
Rich, shut up. You want to go?
Nothing to gain.
Rich, I've got comments here. I've got to go. I've got 1 minute. I've got to go. 1 minute. Before anyone puts in, Matt, and you're being rude, behind the scenes, they've all put comments on. They need to go. So I'm trying to shut him along. Right. So, yeah, we are going to end it there. Big thank you to everyone who's joined us. Big thank you to Ozzy, Pat, Rich, and Alan, who joined us earlier on, and Andy, 1920 podcast. I apologise for my chest. I am got a chest infection, which is not doing me any good at the moment. We're not going to do a show tomorrow. I know we normally do Thursday, but it's Christmas time, and these lads deserve a break with their family. And when the January time hits, we're going to be swamped at a game every other week, every other day anyway. So we're going to have plenty. We're going to do during the thing, we're going to have the quiz for the £50 and the £25 gift voucher. Plus, we're going to do the treble winning medal as well. So we'll be back Saturday evening for the Sheffield United post-match. Time to be confirmed. Keep an eye on our Horsey City on our, obviously, when it comes up as well. So we'll be back Saturday night for that one. Kick off 3 p.m, I believe. Is it 3 p.m?
Yeah, Sheffield.
Yeah. So we'll say, and then obviously we'll wish you all a big New Year on Saturday. But yeah, I want to give these boys some time off. They worked hard. We've got a very big 2024 coming up. So there's no point in bombarding you all tomorrow night, because I know what you'll all talk about, transfers and John Stones. And we don't know anything at the moment. Because the guy I normally speak to, it's Christmas, they've been away, it's hard. We'll know more probably in the start of January. So yeah, a big thank you to everyone. Hope you've had a lovely Christmas. And you got everything you want. We'll be back Saturday night for Sheffield United. One thing I do want to leave on, Pep made a point tonight. The away fans are fabulous. The Etihad needs to be more like that. Saturday, if you go into the game, let's make the Etihad bounce. Because there's been too many games this season where the Etihad has sounded like a library. We've got to get that Etihad bouncing. Intimidating like it was. And it isn't just a City problem. I've seen in Newcastle, Liverpool channel, loads of channels talk about the same problem. iPads, phones, fans' expectations. Klopp's even had a go at his fans. St. James's Park was silent yesterday. It's a 2023, 2024 problem. We've got to get these stadiums bouncing again. And we start 3 p.m. Saturday against Sheffield United. This is where our season begins. 23-24 season starts now for Manchester City. We've won the 5. It's been a fabulous 12 months, the best that any club's ever had. Now we march forward. And it kicked off brilliantly with a spanking win away at Everton. So we'll see you all Saturday. Time to be confirmed. Smash that like, and also we'll do the membership giveaway on Saturday night as well. So take all. Anything you lads want to say before we shoot?
Good night.
Everyone had a wonderful Christmas. And enjoy the rest of the break.
Oh, says the Grinch.
No, the elf.
Yeah. Saturday night's fancy dress.
And I just like the fact that, Pat, me and Ozzy all coordinated outfits for the All Blacks, New Zealand.
I thought we were going to the
And Martin,
Rich, I thought we were all going to the Berghain in Berlin to listen to a bit of techno till 6 in the
we've
morning.
all got our New Zealand Chris Wood outfits on.
Yep.
Brilliant hat trick, elite striker. Lucky he didn't play for Everton is all I can say.
So it's woof woof from me, woof woof from Rich, and we'll see you all Saturday. Take care, Blues.
Yeah.
All right.